Welcome to the Tharstern Techchat. Today I'm joined by our solution specialist, Mark Jameson. Hi Mark, how are you?
I'm fine, Will. How are you doing?
All good, thank you. All good. I've been speaking with a customer recently who would like an automated way to track the location of stock. I know you'll be able to show us how to receive goods. However, speaking with a customer, they said that the barcode could change each time an item is delivered. How would Tharstern handle this?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Will, actually. So thank the customer that gave it. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a recording that's going to sort of take us through the process. I just wanted to introduce, though, our mobile inventory application to browser as a browser product. And the idea is that, you know, from a scalability and sort of device perspective, irrespective of what device size, what size your device is, it's going to resize. The program resizes automatically, as you can see. But you're right, Will. We're going to log in as a user. The user can have a PIN number associated to them. So as you can see here, I've got some authority here to identify who I am. And I've got some options, a couple of options here to go into inventory management and inventory task lists. And then from here, I can navigate to ins, outs and others. And we'll touch on a couple of these during the process of today, but the first thing that you mentioned was goods in. And that's really important. So I've got a purchase order, the sort of status of awaiting goods. And that's the order that we're gonna sort of work on. But you mentioned that there's several ways that we can do this receipt. One is to enter in a purchase order number. Another one is to enter a supplier that the purchase order belongs to. But in this case, in my situation, I'm actually scanning a barcode. I didn't have a barcode scanner available, so I'm just typing what the barcode suggested it was in manually. So the software says, hang on a minute, I don't recognize that barcode, because every time, as you mentioned, every time that paper is delivered from the supplier, it could come as with a different barcode, because the barcode could represent the batch number, the making number, and things like that. So what the software does, it says, don't recognize the barcode. Do you want to scan it again, or do you want to assign that barcode that you have scanned to one of the existing records that you've got in the software? So I've said, I want to use that barcode. I'm now selecting the supplier who's delivered the goods, and then the purchase order that the goods have been delivered on. And now I can see a summary of the items that are on that order. I can enter in the supplier's delivery note number, and then I get the option or a prompt to select the material that I want to assign that barcode to. And at that point, again prompted to reconfirm the barcode, so rescan the barcode effectively. Again, I'm just going to key this in, but normally you would use your scanner and you would say, I've scanned that item again, just to double check that it's the right entry. So the software then tells me that the barcode's been assigned. We're going to navigate into the Tharstern software now, into the inventory module, open up the item itself, and just see in the More tab where that barcode reference gets stored. So in this case, I've got 4 barcode references, because that could represent the fact that every time it comes in, it gets another barcode. So you'd go through then the process of receiving the item, confirming the quantities, and in this situation, if you receive less, it's going to assume that it's been partially delivered. If you receive the exact quantity, it's going to sort of think it's fully delivered. When we're in this view here, we can see the other locations that this material already exists in. I'm just receiving it into a middle location, a transit location, and I can use this device to move goods at a later point. So I can complete the delivery, even because there are other items on there, and the system will update the status of that purchase order. So we can see there that status of that top order moves from awaiting goods to partial delivery.
Okay. A different question I've had as well. A warehouse manager wants to issue materials. Can you show us how they would do this?
Yes, there's lots of ways. We can either do that in the main interface of Tharstern, or we can do it from within shop floor data capture, or we can do it from within this mobile inventory app. So here I've got a job open. It's got a couple of allocations on it. And the idea is that when I use my mobile inventory app, I can go to the out section of the app, and there's an option there to issue stock. And then I'm simply asked to enter the job number or scan the job number. you'll see that I've got an option there to issue free stock. So if the items I wanted to issue hadn't been allocated, then I would just toggle that that flag to say yes, I want to issue free stock. But in this case, I want to issue some allocated stock. So when I enter the job number, I get to see the materials that have been allocated, and I can select the material that I want to issue. So it's a sort of very simple selection. So there's the two allocations, just referring back to those two allocations there. So I can select the material I want to issue. I can see the locations that that material exists in, because then the next stage is I'm going to go to the location and physically scan the location that's on that area of your warehouse, confirming the product and entering a quantity. And this is the quantity that we're issuing to the stock. In this case, I'm issuing slightly less than the allocated quantity, and the software just gives me an option to say either complete the allocation or leave the allocation there, because it might be that I'm part issuing this material in this case. Okay.
In relation to stock taking, can you show us how mobile inventory would handle this?
Yeah, of course. So in the other, so sort of it's worked quite well that we've looked at some of the ins, we looked at some of the outs, now we're looking at one of the other options. It is exactly that, the ability to do a stock check. In this case, we don't want to give the operator too much information. So we only want them to go to a location, scan it, or as I'm doing here, entering the value manually. We want them to scan the product that they're counting, and we want them simply to confirm the quantity that they've counted. So the knock-on effect of that is I can continue and do other stock other checks on other items, but the knock-on effect is in the stock module, inventory module, we see this area called anomalies, and there is an entry for each discrepancy, if you like, that's recorded via the mobile inventory app in that stock take feature. So there's quite a big disparity between what was expected on this item and what was actually counted, and so you've got options then to either correct the balance to reflect what was counted by the operator, or in fact say, okay, well look, actually we need to check this quantity again, there's such a significant difference that I want the count done again, and if we realize actually it was just miscounted, they counted number of packs instead of number of sheets or whatever it was, we get the opportunity just to remove the transaction completely, or as I mentioned, we could correct the transaction.
Great, thank you. So I think that's just a small flavour of the features functionality. There'd be much more for us to show you in a further video, but if you'd like any more information, you can give us a call on 01282 860 660 or email us at hello@tharstern.com. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Mark.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.